With how things have worked out so far, their match strategy, opening-wise, Ding, he's been hit by some surprises, but nothing too dramatic.
Well, what's been really encouraging is that Ding has managed to navigate the complexities of the openings pretty well. And like you say, he has been surprised almost on a continuous basis by Gukesh.
Yeah.
And Gukesh has come up with some real fantastic opening novelties, which is very, very difficult to do in this day and age.
Yeah, almost impossible these days to find new ideas. There's nothing new under the sun when the computers have something to say about it. And yeah, databases available to everyone worldwide. In the meantime, a really tense moment. Will the Ding team bump into the Gukesh team coming down in the elevator now? We see Maria Emelianova here filming, capturing all the action. And yeah, here we go. The wait goes on.
Yes.
Those tense moments before the games.
Yes. And, well, what have the report Nihua, Ding Liren team have come up with? That would be an interesting. Ding Liren begins with the white pieces. He has more white pieces in the remaining games. 3 to Gukesh's 2.
Yeah, on paper, small advantage having the white pieces. Normally you can land the first surprise. And it's only Gukesh, though, so far who has won with the white pieces. He lost a game with white 2 earlier in the event. So at the moment, it's hard to say how much of an advantage it is. But either way, Gukesh would be happy to get this black game out of the way. And OK, it's a packed house here, I believe. It's sold out in Singapore and Sentosa.
It's the weekend, so the crowds are buzzing, but they've been buzzing every single day. It hasn't really made a difference whether it's been weekend or weekday. It's so nice to see everyone in the chess community show up and, yeah, giving us a wave for the broadcast. You smile, you're on camera.
Yeah, great to see everyone in good spirits. I think a lot of fans there are awaiting their favorite player, Gukesh, the man they will be cheering for. The challenger tends to arrive a few minutes later than the reigning champion.
Yes.
Gukesh liking to make an entrance, striding in with purpose often, and yeah, marching past the fans.
There we also see in the foreground Grandmasters Kevin Gore and Grandmaster Emil Sutovsky. Now, what's really interesting about Singapore is that if you ask any random person in the fan zone who they support, it will be like 50-50 whether it's Gukesh or Ding. It's so nice to see the players have a well-balanced fan base. And talking about 50-50, is that what you would give both their chances? Do you think it's now gone down to even Stevens?
Oof, yes. I know some very prominent experts have said it's 50-50 now. And I mean, Gukesh, he's just been more informed the last 18 months. His rating is higher. He's been the one pushing in a lot of these drawn games. But Ding has more whites. Ding, if it gets to the playoffs, maybe a small favorite there. He's got more accolades in the past in rapid chess. I don't know, Ivanka, how about yourself?
I think it's also 50-50. One thing that I have noticed is Ding seems very calm, very chilled, let's say, with how things are. He's been.
Ice cream.
It is all that ice cream, but I also think it's his experience in this. You know, he's been at his lowest, and now anything is a bonus.
Yeah, I think if you'd offered Ding after 9 games to still be on level footing, he would have snapped your hand off. He would have loved that. And of course, he's been in this type of situation before, fighting back last year 3 times.
Say, play, blunder, learn, repeat.
Words to live by.
Yes.
A great philosophy there. Yeah, every top grandmaster has blundered more than the average club player at some point throughout their career. So yeah, it's all about learning. And Gukesh had said that as well. Gukesh has had a really healthy mindset in the press conference. Yeah, just kind of shrugging off those small mistakes that have been mentioned. Ultimately, there have been very few one-move blunders in this World Championship, Ivanka, which shows the high quality of chess.
Yeah, I would say that so as well. And I would say there's also been extremely good defense, namely from Ding, actually. You know, Ding has really been at times with his back up against the wall, but he's found ingenious ways to keep surviving and just to narrow those odds. And there we do see the entrance of the challenger, Gukesh, supported by his father and, of course, his second, Gregor Zgajewski, and now striding through the security checks and straight into the fair play office, where they will be checked to make sure nothing untoward is happening. And once again, Ding is in his favorite spot, sitting on the chair, just enjoying the heat, enjoying the vibe of being in Singapore.
Yeah, it's very warm outside today. And yeah, I'm sure the players have soaked up the atmosphere. Ding, why mess with it? Currently successful routine. He's been sitting here day in, day out at this point. And yeah, just getting in the zone. Players do different things. Gukesh meditates. Ding likes to just sit, chill. And yeah, soon he'll enter the arena.
There's something very relaxing about sitting by the window and enjoying the sunlight and enjoying the warmth. I do it every single day. And here, Ding, I can just see it's very calming for him, and he's able just to maybe just mentally rehearse his opening lines, the approach he's going to be taking, and decide on showing his best.
He's so relatable, Ding. I think often this is what all of us do before big games. We need to just take our mind off everything else. We need to detox our minds, essentially. And this is where Ding thrives. This is where he gets in the zone. And in the meantime, someone's phone going off here in the commentary area. Apologies for that.
And there we are. Once again, you were talking about rituals, David, and this is something that we see from Gukesh on a daily basis. He hangs his jumper onto the chair. Both players will now enter the arena, and then the games will begin in a few minutes.
Yeah, Gukesh is now taking his seat. Ding has found his seat. He doesn't want to enter yet. There's still a couple of minutes before the first moves will begin. Just those last few contemplative moments.
Yeah, it's always that calm before the storm, right? Before a big race, big game begins. You just mentally sit down, wait for the moment that you say, I'm ready. And there, Ding Liren enters into the playing arena. And we see Grandmaster Maurice Ashley get ready to introduce the players and introduce the dignitary, Mr. Con Yin Tong, the chair at Sports Singapore, who's going to make the first move. So we are going to hand the floor to Maurice.
Held here at the Aquarius Hotel in the luxurious Resorts World Sentosa in lovely Singapore. I'm Maurice Ashley, and it is my distinct pleasure to introduce the two players who are competing for the title of World Chess Champion. First, the challenger from India, Gukesh Dommaraju. And from China, the world champion, Ding Liren. The match is tied at 4.5 points each. It has been a scintillating match so far. The players have treated all of us to an incredible set of games. Their fighting spirit is to be absolutely commended as we go into the last 5 games. To make the ceremonial first move, we have a dignitary from Singapore, Mr. Con Yin Tong, who is a managing partner of accountancy firm Fu Con Tan, served as a Sports Singapore Council member from 2012 before becoming deputy chairman in 2016 and subsequently chairman in October 2018. Mr. Con has held roles with Sports Singapore as Finance Committee Chairman and leads the Sports Excellence Scholarship Selection and Approval Committee. Having had a passion for rugby since he was a schoolboy, Mr. Con currently holds a World Rugby Level 1 coaching certificate and is a volunteer coach. Please welcome the chair at Sports Singapore, Mr. Con Yin Tong. And with that, let the game begin.
who caused the first surprise after Gukesh brought his bishop out here, bishop to d6. This move, bishop e2, the point being now that a trade forces the black bishop to move a second time. So very subtle, but the black bishop loses a move, and pawn to c4 now challenges the center, which soon explodes.
Yes, and it's actually a line that Ding Liren's second, Richard Report, had very fond memories in. But there we did see a trade of pawns on c4, and we were wondering what method should Gukesh adopt? Should he trade queens? Should he perhaps just keep the tension on the board with a6? But Gukesh stuck to his nature and he chose the most principled move, that was coming out with a knight to the edge of the board. And this is the first time that we saw Ding actually think.
Yeah, up to this point, Gukesh had expended a lot of time, especially this move, knight to h5. He was in the tank for a while, over 20 minutes, but it was worth it. And Ding, now out of his opening preparation, decided to move his bishop. Very natural. You don't really want to part with bishops for knights in such an open position. This attacks the black queen, asks a question. She didn't flinch. Instead, the black bishop jumped back to offer a trade and support. Ding kept the tension. He defended his bishop very actively with his knight. The black knight retreated, and this was the critical moment, potentially, Ivanka. Ding, this was his last chance to keep maximum tension.
Yeah, so we were expecting perhaps that Ding would take the knight, but with the bishop. And the whole idea is that you will accelerate the play, come out with the queen to c2, and now the rooks will move quickly towards the center. But that, unfortunately, was not what Ding Liren chose. He thought that he would press in a more gentle manner.
Yeah, so far more risk-free, but unfortunately less reward. Potentially, he took the knights off the board, and
after a trade of knights, the queens also departed, and then the bishops left, and very shortly, rooks soon being traded as well.
Yes, and so once the rooks left the board, we were still pondering about how much of an advantage white had, because the bishop is better placed, the knight is also in a better square, but ultimately, Gukesh just played very accurately.
Yeah, black's only downside to his position is these doubled pawns. They're slightly inflexible. Potentially there's a weakness out there, an isolated pawn, an island, just like Sentosa on h7. And meanwhile, though, this didn't become a factor. Ding playing a bit too tentatively here, a bit too slowly. He brought his king across. Gukesh now gaining space in really instructive manner. Pawn to f5. It does look like these pawns are fixed now on light squares, the same color as their bishop. Not really advisable, but it's more important to bring the king towards the center. And the next few moves, very, very precise. The black knight dropped back, opening up the bishop to come out. But the hidden idea is to actually trade off rooks.
Yes, and once the rooks come off, all that was left was for Gukesh to trade off the knights, and that would just secure a very easy draw. And Ding, perhaps sensing that the position had fizzled out, indeed did make that trade, and now it was just a question of mobilizing the kings, getting them to the squares that they could go to, and then we see that once everything is picture perfect, it is a picture perfect result, with it being a draw.
Yeah, no way through for either side. Very, very balanced game. Ding not hiding his intentions. It looks like he's clearly angling towards the tie breaks now. But for Gukesh, another black done safely. And yeah, we move on to game 11.
And game 11 is where Gukesh will have the white pieces, and we'll look forward to seeing how Gukesh will manage to press or perhaps gain an advantage there.
Yeah, and in the meantime, this is the fan zone. Still plenty of action. Looks very busy out there. I wonder what the feelings are, though. Maybe slightly anticlimactic. Looks like some of the fans still playing their own games. Of course, there's plenty of side events. There's plenty of ways to keep busy, to keep entertained here. Nice to see such a hub for chess right now here on Sentosa Island. But yeah, this game done in 2.5 hours, Ivanka. One of the quickest so far.
It certainly looks like one of the quickest, but it's so nice to see the fans and the crowds just entertaining themselves. You know, if the players didn't deliver, they themselves can provide the entertainment, enjoying the chess and however it arrives. Now, I mean, it's going to be an intriguing battle now in the rest of the games, because Gukesh tomorrow has the white pieces. We're all dying to see what kind of opening he brings to the table. Will he switch? Will he have another novelty up his sleeve? Will he finally test Ding Liren in a French?
Oh, I have a feeling it might be a French defense, Ivanka. I also want to point out the last time there was such a quick draw when Ding had the white pieces, I think it was 23 moves in game 2. He was punished the next day. Chess goddess Kaisa, she doesn't like quick draws, especially when you're white and you have the chance to play on. I think often as well, just in the back of our minds, we feel a bit guilty if we force quick draws with white. So it's going to be Ding facing a storm tomorrow. Yeah. He lost game 3 after that previous premature draw. I wonder whether at game 11 he'll suffer the consequences too.
Yeah, we're getting closer and closer to the finish, and there we see the fish tank where spectators can come, enjoy themselves in armchairs and watch the action as it happens. Oh, it is... You know something, in World Championship matches, there comes a time, like normally between 9 and 12, games 9 and 12, where the players get a bit nervous and there's suddenly like a flurry of draws. Having said that, this is the 7th draw in a row.
Yeah, 7th draw in a row, but very different draws among them. Some of them were really fighting draws. Both sides had chances, up and down moments. Gukesh turning down draw opportunities. This one felt a bit less fighting, but yeah, like you said, there's so much at stake now. They can smell the finishing line almost. There's 4 more games of classical chess. In the meantime, the press conference is about to start.
Yep, and let's go straight to Grandmaster Maurice Ashley with the players.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the post-game press conference for Game 10, which ended in a draw. I will ask a few questions and then I'll open it up to the press. Please restrict, and may I emphasize, please restrict your questions to just 1. And if we have time to continue with follow-up questions, then I'll be happy to continue. For now, my first question goes to the challenger. There was, I guess the first big think of the game was when you played the move knight to h5. Could you let us understand why this moment was so critical for you?
Yeah, I guess in the opening, I mean, I was aware of this bishop e2 idea, but I couldn't remember the exact details. And around this point, I know that knight h5 is one of the common ideas. It's also why white very often with the bishop on f4 goes h3 to not lose this bishop, right? So I thought here knight h5 was maybe possible, and I had to calculate some lines, like for example I was thinking about knight e4 here, and I wanted to go bishop e7, bishop d6, bishop d6. If knight d6 I go queen e7, I think.
What did you say?
Queen e7.
Queen e7?
Although maybe queen d2, rook d1 now that I see it. But okay, I can go knight f6. Rook d8, I mean yeah, I probably missed this queen d2 rook fd1 idea during the game. So I think it was the best idea, and I was already quite relieved when he played bishop g5, because like basically bishop e7, knight e4. I mean, he could have had this position with the bishop on d6, and I was going to take on d6. So once I saw knight f6, I knew it should. I should not be having any kind of troubles here.
You also spent a little bit of time once you played the move knight to h5. Could you take us through your thinking process? Were you surprised by this move? I don't think we're getting your mic. I'm sorry. No, it's not your fault. Don't worry. Sorry, just one moment, please. I'm gonna, do me a favor, keep talking to this. Now. Just talking to them. You can just talk. Just use that to talk.
I thought this is harmless, but response structure. So I didn't play this, and I was hoping for take h6 and we'll go knight e4 and bishop h4. If g5, I have g4. I was betting on this variation. I think white is slightly better. I missed the bishop e7 actually. I thought white had stable advantage after exchange the bishop, but it's not the case. And this bishop very bad. If I take, he take knight d4, maybe he can simply go back and take c5, bishop b7. And
Maybe knight d4 also, just knight d4 I thought, but
Which position?
after knight d4 instead of knight f6, knight d4. Yeah,
Knight f6, this position.
yeah. Maybe also I could start with g6. I don't know if that makes a difference, but
So you opted for a different idea here, and what did you feel was the result of this position? Did you feel it was just going to be more or less equal once he found this neutralizing plan?
after I take the knight and exchange the queen, it's kindly going to a very drawish endgame. Maybe this is the last try, bishop d3. He cannot take on f2. Looks good, but I have bishop h7 and queen d8. And this is winning for me. But this looks very small.
Is his microphone working now? I'm sorry, it is. Okay. So we know in these kinds of matches, the preparation is tremendous. Lot goes into trying to find some kind of small edge for white, or maybe even a more significant edge. How difficult has it been to do so in this match?
Sometimes my open stage strategy worked quite well, and today I also prepared a lot. I was hoping for some advantage out of the opening, and he surprised me with bishop d6, and I thought this might be slight advantage, just a little bit, and yeah, he moved knight h5. Also was out of my calculation, and here I need to think. There are many moves on this position, and I choose the harmless one.
Are you satisfied with the way it's going now? Well, let's just be specific about this game. Getting a draw, he had an extra white going into the final 5 games. Satisfied with the result of this draw, this game, that it was a relatively comfortable draw going into the next 4 games?
yeah, I mean with black, I mean obviously I'm up for a game with both colors, but with black, I mean to get a solid draw like this, it's obviously a good result. But yeah, I mean it's, as I said, like it doesn't make nowadays white and black color doesn't make a huge difference. So it's just 4 more very interesting games to go. And about this game, I think the quality was high. Maybe somewhere I could have we both could have improved at some point, but overall it was just a solid draw, which is very normal.
Let's follow up though. It may be a solid draw that's very normal, but it's the 10th game of a 14-game match. Everybody's feeling the tension, all the fans and reporters and the like. How are you feeling knowing that these next four, it's no longer a 14-game match, it's a 4-game match where any mistake could be disastrous?
Yeah, it's obviously getting closer and closer, but still the best approach is to play good games. Yeah, I mean that's the only way that like good results can come, and that is what I'm trying to do.
Same for you before I open to the press. 4 games left. It's a 4-game match. It's a short run. You've been in matches, close matches. You were in a close match last time. How do you evaluate the tension level of the last 4 games, and how do you manage it?
I have some experience playing 4 games match, especially last year when I had some match in Wenzhou and I play against many world top players. Reduced to 4 games, so only 4 games.
What are the lessons you draw from those matches, or you don't want to say?
I usually lose the first game with white pieces, but luckily this time I have black pieces in the first.
All right, let's open up to the press, please. First question.
Michael Rahal, here as a Deputy Press Officer for FIDE. Question for Ding. Ding Liren, I noticed today a couple of Richard Rapport games in this specific line, so I wanted to know if he influenced your opening choice today in this opening, as he's played this before a couple of times.
It was my second idea, yeah, Bishop E4. Yeah.
Could you elaborate a bit more?
Hmm?
Could you elaborate a bit more on the different ideas you had prepared for this game?
Apart from this line, I also prepared the other line.
Okay, thank you.
Harry Schark, Chess Magazine Karl, Germany. My question is to Ding. Today you hesitated before your first move. What was the reason for this hesitation?
Suddenly I realized it's the same to start with d4 or knight f3, because he will also go d5. If like the previous round, then I can transport with the game by playing d4.
They are from Chess Base India. My one question to both the players. With just 4 games remaining, do you think the value of each move is increasing in each game? And would that impact your risk-taking appetite for the remaining games?
Yeah, I mean it's obviously now a cost of 1 game is higher than it was maybe in the start of the or a few games before, but yeah, I mean my approach and my goal is still the same, to play good games in every single game. And it's like, if you think about it, it's not that different, because also even though the cost of losing, for example, the first game is not that high, I would still not want to lose that game. So it's still that I just want to play good games and yeah, hope for the best.
Into you, cost of each move is high.
Yes, that means there's not so much room to make mistakes. Every lose will result in a very bad situation. And we need to be careful at every move.
Good evening, my name is Ahmed. I am on behalf of Kazakhstan Telegram channel Честно говоря, and we have a question to Ding. You have already become the first world champion from China and earned enough money. Where do you find your further motivation to play chess?
Because it's a title match that I want to defend it. Actually, I did not play so much during the last years. But this one is very important.
I'm Mike Klein with Chess.com. I've got a question for Grandmaster Gukesh. In pretty much every round, when Ding Liren travels back from the playing hall to the media center or to the press conference here, he's got one of his Grandmaster seconds with you. But you traveled with your father, who has had the benefit of engine analysis. And I'm curious if you've ever asked your father on the ride here about questions about the game or anything, because, you know, he's had the technology access and you haven't. So any discussions of chess with you and your father on the way here to the press conference in any of the rounds?
Not in too much detail, but if there are some important things, for example, the game that I was winning with black, yeah, I mean, I don't remember the number, but that game he told me, I mean, I didn't realize I was also losing at some point, so he told me in this car ride that I mean, I could have lost a piece in that crazy game. So yeah, some important details like that, but not in too much detail. Yeah.
Do you ever ask him a specific question, or does he offer it, or can you he's the first chess player you talk to, so.
Yeah, he would be happy to hear that he's a chess player.
He's following the games on the phone. I'm sure he understands what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, sometimes if I feel like something I want to know, I ask him, but in general, we don't talk too much about about the game. Yeah.
Thanks for letting us know.
Alice, on behalf of your fans on FIDE social media, this time from follower Curry Not Curry. What's the most unexpected or surprising thing you've learned about yourself in this championship?
I'm always the first one to arrive.
Don't know, I mean, I'm learning a lot about chess and with all the work that is going on in preparation for the match. But what I learn about myself, nothing new really, to be honest.
Hello, this is Supriya from Bangalore Chess Club. So this question is
I don't think we're quite hearing you.
Hello, this is Supriya from Bangalore Chess Club. So this question is for both the players. Did you anticipate before the start of WCC match that it will be a 5-5 draw by the end of the 10th round?
Did you think you'd be tied right now? 10 games, 5-5.
It's not a big surprise since we are very have not so much different in strengths. So 5-5 is also the game itself is some of the game are better for him and some of them are better or even winning for me. So it's a fair result so far.
I mean, obviously, it's one of the possibilities that the match could be tied. It's not a huge surprise. Obviously, I was prepared for all kinds of scenarios. I was trailing, or I was leading, or all these kind of scenarios. And one of the things that I thought about was, what if it's a close match deep into the match? And yeah, it's one of the scenarios I expected. And also, it's very normal considering modern chess and how difficult it is to win games.
And what is your risk appetite right now as the round increases? Like whether you opt for draw or you go for attack and win?
It depends on the position. We just try to make the best move in the position. If it means playing for a draw, or if it means playing for a win. It depends on the position. So, yeah.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm Nemo on behalf of the Singaporean Chess Federation. A short view back to the past. 30 years ago, Bobby Fischer told us in chess, so much depends on opening theory, and memorization is enormously powerful. It is really deadly, and that is why I don't like chess anymore. 30 years later, Garry Kasparov told us nowadays a 13-year-old would probably know more than Bobby Fischer would probably knew when he retired. They analyzed all the moves and prepared themselves on their computers. And Magnus Carlsen said after a tournament, I don't know which tournament, that his games are like homework. So question for both of you. Is chess today too reliant on computers and predetermined theory? Are you too much under effort, too much under pressure to come with new ideas deeper and deeper into the opening? And what are your wishes for the future of chess in terms of engines, less or more?
Yeah, I mean, lot of players have shared this opinion, which makes sense. But for me, like, I see it as a positive thing because, like, I mean, before the computers, or before like how easily available all the resources are, there was few players who had some like better technology, or better like they were able to have more seconds to help them and stuff like that. So it was not a level playing field, I think. And now, because all these resources are easily available to all the players, chess is becoming more of a sport. Yeah, I mean, it's everyone has the same resources, and you just have to find that little edge that will help you uh, stand out. So I think this is the way it should be. So yeah.
Course nowadays require a lot of open preparation. It's aim to get a game, not a theoretical draw. But the game was decided many times in the middle game or even in the end game, not just finished out of the opening. Still, the real strength matters when coming to after the opening. Also, even if you get nothing in the opening, if you can play like the engine, play with the most accurate way, you may also beat your opponent. Sometimes we over-evaluate the importance of the opening.
Thank you. Engines are not taking over. Got it. Thanks.
Hi, Prashant from Dopamine Media. My question is to the both of you. It seems that both of you are patiently waiting for your opponent to make a mistake and capitalize on that one chance. And your opponent making a mistake is not in your control. So when that wait turns endless, does it tempt you into considering newer ideas or riskier decisions, and thus increasing your chances of committing an error? So from here on, what would you prefer, to act or to react to what your opponent is doing?
Actually, I don't think the wait for mistakes is so like it's so long. I mean, there are mistakes happening in every game, to be honest. So like as we saw in the last few games, like most of the last few games, that one of the sides had the advantage. So I think we are both trying to outwit each other, and we both are making mistakes. We are both getting chances. So it's just about. I mean, obviously we have some strategy for this particular game or something like that, but mostly it's about just coming to the game, playing good moves, and in general it's hard in chess not to make mistakes. So yeah, mistakes, they happen how much you try not to make them. Yeah.
Every game we are hoping for create chances ourselves, not hoping our mistakes, the opponent made mistakes. Otherwise, we'll play some tricks, some lines which are not objectively good, but we can trick my opponent. So I think that's the way we play.
Hi, I'm Kyla, representing the local organizing committee, and my question goes to world champion Ding Liren. In last year's World Championship match, by game 10, there had already been 5 decisive games, which makes for 50% of decisive games. Right now, only 2 games have been decisive for 20%. Do you have any theories as to why last year's game saw more oscillations, more ups and downs?
Last year, there are many decisive games, many wins with white pieces, and yes, with white pieces, the player plays extremely well and provokes mistakes from the opponent. It can go the other way since there are many games that could be decisive, but at the end in draws.
Okay, thank you.
Please come closer to the microphone.
We know that both of you are into a little bit of philosophy. In life, there are, pleasant and unpleasant surprises. But in chess, it is often nasty surprises. So how do you cope up with, when you initially, in the initial part of the game, when you meet with a nasty surprise, how do you react to that mentally? My question is for both of you.
I think since we've played a lot of chess, in like pretty much like half of the games we get surprised in the opening, and the other half we surprise the opponent. So I think it's just that we have gotten used to it. Obviously, it's a bit different in a world championship because when you get surprised, the level of preparation is different than in other tournaments. But it's nothing new for a chess player to be surprised in the opening, and yeah, I guess it's just that we learn to deal with it with experience.
Getting surprised at my last game shows I try to think and try to figure out what's going on in this position and try to find the best answers. But this time, maybe I should have think for more time when he played knight h5. Yeah.
A few more questions.
Hello, Abhinav from US Chess. I have a question for both grandmasters. One of the joys of watching the youngest ever challenger is that it's exciting to see a top player come into his own. But the most interesting part is that compared to past world championships, you have relatively limited experience against each other, only a few classical games. What have you learned about your opponent that makes them distinct from other top players, given your extensive experience at the top?
My opponent is very young and can be said a newcomer to the top tournaments. So his rating progress is extremely quick in recent years. So, but in the past few encounters, I had very good results against him. But we can see this time he improved his score a little bit.
Yeah, I guess us not having played too many games before this match is because of my age. I mean, I got into the elite like just a couple of years back. So, but yeah, I mean the two classical games that we played, I was also a bit younger and weaker at that time. So now I think I've improved a bit. And what I learned about Ding from this match, it's yeah, that he's just a very strong player. Yeah.
Thank you both.
Hello everyone, Anastasia Karlovich for Grand Chess Tour and St. Louis Chess Club social media. I have a question for both players, and I would just want to say that of course I was following the match with a great interest. Thank you for your play. And my question is, what are the biggest challenges you faced so far after 10 games, over the board and off the board?
Biggest challenge over the board, I guess. I guess the first game was a challenge in many ways. Like, obviously, I was dealing. I mean, it can also be said off the board, but like I was dealing with some new nerves and yeah, just. I mean, the first game of World Championship was just a different experience. So that was quite a challenge. And also off the board, I think that was the game where I lost. So it can be said that was the challenge both. I mean, the biggest challenge both on and off the board. But I'm happy with how I handled it, and I think I found my rhythm after that. So yeah.
Over the board, I think I have to deal with the time trouble problem in many black, especially black games, which are not so usual in my games. Off the board, maybe the length of the tournament it lasts 40 rounds. It's the longest match tournament which I have ever played. Also, memory some opening lines, which is quite challenging.
Thank you so much for your answers. Thank you.
Hello, Maria for the chess streaming channel. The question might seem a bit silly for strong players out there on the internet, but it's very interesting for me and a lot of weaker players. Nowadays, as many times already said, the preparation with computer is so important, and we all spend so much with ChessBase and learning the lines. But it's an interesting fact that actually, Gukesh, you said many times in the interviews that you are much more maybe a classic approach player. You prefer discussions and maybe working with the physical board, that you don't spend so much on playing chess on the internet and spending time with computers. While Ding is the opposite. Even 10 years ago, he was throwing these enormously long lines with computer preparation and was working with computer already so much ahead of the rest of the field. Could you please tell how much time during the match and coming into the match you spend working with computer, and how much on the physical board? And do you play practice games against your seconds on the board, or do you prefer to work with computer? Thank you. Maybe Ding can start.
Yes, I think it's a useful way to practice or to play the games on the physical board. Yes, when I did so, I think I improved a lot by this way of training. But coming here, yes, we need to be efficient. So most of the time I study and the lines on the computer. Or only after the game I review the games with seconds on the board. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do like playing training games with my team, and I like to train over the board when possible. But but yeah, to cover more stuff, you need to also spend. I mean, it's not easy to put back the position each time once you go through a line on the board. So most of the time I spend on computers, but whenever possible or whenever I feel like it, I do like to use the chessboard.
If the players may indulge me, one last question. It often happens that you have people in your camp who are there calming you down, maybe making jokes and the like. Is it ever a situation for you that you have to calm other people down? Like, is anybody, you handle the pressure quite well. Is anybody in your camp freaking out a little bit and maybe a little nervous and you have to say, relax, everything is okay?
I think they are more close to the truth of the position. They can have the engines with the help, so they are more certain of what's going on of the game. So yeah, they knew what's going on. So they have the answers. I think we are the one who are not so uncertain of the outcome of the game.
In general, I don't freak out a lot, so I manage to remain calm. But obviously, when I'm feeling some kind of emotions, my team is there to support me, and yeah, I'm also sure for the team, watching the game and having no control of how the game will go, and also knowing how the position is, it'll be quite stressful. But I think they're doing quite well.
All right, thanks for that. Well, that concludes the post-game press conference. Game 11 is tomorrow at the same time, 5 p.m. in Singapore. Everyone have a good night.